insisted is that a beautiful actress play his mother, and it was Angela Bassett.
Well, they got a beautiful actress.
He loved his mother. And he also said in that tape that we ran yesterday, that deposition from '96, that it was a rumor and a lie that he wanted a white kid to play him as a child, that story was out there and that it was not true. But he did want a pretty lady to play his mother.
Well, the world certainly, and again, today is a day to honor, but one of the reasons there is such a commitment to covering Michael Jackson, because he represented so many things to so many people. And that time he went on Oprah in 1993, they did that special where he started talking about his childhood.
You mean where Oprah came to Neverland? Or the one where he was on set?
He also talked about the vitiligo that he
had. The vitiligo,
the
beatings he took as a kid.
He talked about his father beating him.
Yeah, it gave you a different window into Michael Jackson.
Sure did. Michael was, Michael himself said he was so afraid of his father. I mean, he sometimes would get physically sick when he would see him. But a very loving relationship with his mother.
Guys, I'm looking out the window here outside the entrance, and this procession is very close to the entrance at Forest Lawn, and it is Forest Lawn Drive here that they'll be turning right on. And again, as you had asked earlier, Steve, there isn't throngs of people, fans that are positioned outside. Just the media. It's very quiet. It's very organized. Again, I'm seeing a lot of law enforcement up and down the streets in and around Forest Lawn here. And they're very close to the entrance exit here at Forest Lawn.
Just thinking as we watch Michael Jackson, he was in the movie The Wiz with Diana Ross. And the guy who did the music for the movie was none less than Quincy Jones. And
he's on down the road.
And Quincy Jones saw something in Michael and how Michael was so open to things. He said to Michael, I want to do your next album. And they went to the record label, and the record label said, no, Quincy's too jazzy. I mean, too jazzy.
And some of those albums turned out pretty well.
And Michael, he held his ground on it, and they worked together, and that created Off the Wall, and Off the Wall is what changed everything. And then Thriller changed everything. Yeah.
Amazing how you hear these stories now in retrospect. You hear about these executives and these people that make these horrible decisions, and you're like, how do you even have that position to begin with?
Well, I think every executive with a suit and money on the line will make bad decisions.
That's for sure.
It's the nature of the job.
Who takes the risk?
Yeah.
It's who takes the risk, and a lot of times the risk won't pay off. You've got Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson. It was gold. We
were talking about Elizabeth Taylor and Debbie Rowe not coming to the memorial today. Quincy Jones not coming either.
No,
he said he just has been to too many funerals.
Too many funerals.
150 over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. And yes, go ahead, Rick.
There's a gate at Forest Lawn, so they're now officially exiting the park here. They're exiting Forest Lawn, Memorial Hollywood Hills here. They'll be either turning right or left here on Forest Lawn Drive, and we'll see which way they go from there. They're making a right, so they're going to be traveling east on a Forest Lawn.
Okay, there we see some folks lined up along the way, but very respectful.
Yep, a lot of that's media, though, too. Those are all micromans there.
Got it. Those are not people. That's media.
The media, yeah.
Well, and no one could be in Forest Lawn. Not people or media you refer to as non-people.
Well, they're outside the gate now, are they not?
Yeah, they just got outside the gate.
And they're making their way eastbound from that gate entrance on Forest Lawn here. And there is an on-ramp to the 134. We'll see if they choose to take that, or they could wrap through Griffith Park and make their way south.
And the freeway shut down, Rick, to get down to Staples?
Actually, right now, the 134 is open. We saw a big backup, and there was actually a wreck on the 134, and that's why we thought that the freeway was closed. But the 134 is open right now. We're not seeing the closure to that strip of the 134 like we did on the 101 when this procession left the Jackson home on Havenhurst and entered the 101 freeway. So perhaps they aren't going to take it, or they're just not going to hold traffic. Again, they are on Forest Lawn Drive still, approaching Zoo Drive, and we'll see if they do get on the freeway here.
You can go through Zoo Drive and then connect with Griffith Park Boulevard over there.
Griffith Park Drive and then make your way right through the park, past the golf course, and down Griffith Park, paralleling the 5 there.
And all of this.
And the backside, this procession is so large, the backside of the procession is still making its way outside the park.
And you would imagine if the coffin is, as it is, being delivered to Staples, it'll be up there on the stage, and the performers will perform for Michael right there on stage. Talk to him.
Yes, there'll be a lot of tributes.
How emotional that will be.
And all the stories we've done in the past 12 days, you know, then you see this, and it really brings it home. Michael Jackson is dead.
That's right. It's a memorial service for him. It's a celebration of his life, and you know, we've been caught up in this event, like we were, you know, indicating earlier, with people down at Staples Center, you know, getting ready. It was like seeing the show, like they got a ticket to a Lakers final game, or you know, but
people are referring to it as the show, but it is a memorial service.
All right, I am now seeing outside the 5 freeway. The 5 freeway looks like they're starting to stop the 5 and the 134. So they are going to be taking freeways. They are stopping traffic just like they did on the other side of the valley, the west side of the valley, the 405 and the 101. So it appears they're going to be making a turn here to get on the 134 and taking that 134 east to the 5 south down towards the Staples Center. It was a quick memorial service too.
Really
you know, we're a little, you know, we're probably a little behind what the schedule indicated, but we were starting to think that the procession, you know, hadn't left until about 15 or 20 of 8 if they were going to be able to get that in and make their way down, because everything was still sort of up in the air. I mean, we didn't know exactly how this was going to unfold, but so far it's unfolding just as we had thought, with the exception of all the secrecy around whether or not.
And it's amazing if you close off the freeways, how quickly you can still move here in Southern California.
It is, and they're doing this they're being very organized. Again, they just shut down the 134 about a minute and a half ago, so they're going to shut it down for just a short period of time. This is the hearse that is carrying Michael Jackson's body. It is just now entering the 134 West, right up against Griffith Park. They use the Forest Lawn on-ramp there, and they'll be making their way to the 5, which is just about a quarter to a half a mile down the road. And now the 5 freeway southbound is completely stopped and starting to back up as well. They're going to create that buffer zone on the freeway, just like they did when this procession left the Jackson home in Encino, to prevent people from driving up alongside the freeway, alongside the procession, I should say, and give them the space and privacy they need.
You know, we're saying this was a short memorial service. What makes a memorial service longer usually are the tributes, people speaking about the person, and much of that is going to take place at Staples Center. Really, the memorial service was mostly for the family.
Right, right. I was listening this morning to an interview that Michael Jackson did when he was 14 years old with Charlie Tuna. You know Charlie Tuna. And it was the same Michael Jackson, with a 14-year-old voice, but different. And he asked him, what's the toughest part of the stardom? What's the hardest thing? And he said, getting up in the morning and getting on the plane. The shows are easy, but getting up and getting on the plane in the morning is the toughest thing. And if you think about it, that was 36 years ago that interview was done.
And that was his life from the time he was a kid.
So we're going to follow this.
From up here, guys, I'm seeing some skywriters, it looks like, over downtown LA. We'll see what's going to come out of the skywriting planes.
It looks like some people
in all
there
my years that I've been up here, I think Vince in the back will probably agree, with the exception of the OJJs, we have not seen this many helicopters up over one area yet at a given time. Law enforcement, media from, you know, there's helicopters I think that have been positioned from different cities, and it's quite a scene.
Well, and this at least was planned for. The OJ situation was
the slow speed
exactly
absolutely improvised in the moment.
But you know, it's amazing. Dorothy mentioned the people on the overpasses. This is planned. They probably knew the route that the procession was going to take. With OJ, everyone just got on those overpasses impromptu. It was incredible.
Well, but really, people did not know this was going to happen.
Well, but there was major speculation.
But they certainly knew the way from
The speculation was
Forest Lawn
mostly about a helicopter.
Well,
no,
people
for the
assumed
family.
that the body
Just for
was
the
going to go
family,
to Staples.
Yeah. You know, it's hard not to think back to moments. I mean, this is a storied life, a troubled life. For me, the stunning moment is Motown yesterday, today, and for